Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to our Crypto Hash Review, where we educate and disseminate information about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies from a Muslim perspective. And you've heard me a few times in previous videos criticizing and critiquing our current system of money, stating that money is currently a debt-based economy. It's not an economy based on actually producing wealth. It's actually producing money and wealth through effort and work, but rather it's through producing and issuing or issuance of debt and interest and riba. Now, there's a reason why the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah Himself has made war against the Murabi, the one who issues and deals in interest. The effects on the economy are great and massive. So, for example, one of the things you could say about interest or riba is that it is a monetization of something which is disliked in the first place, which is a debt. In Islam, we are encouraged to live within our means, and debt is almost like the means of last resort. So you can run things on a debt or liability, but it's encouraged to always fulfill your debts and to finalize your debts. As you see from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he refused to pray over someone who passed away and still had debt on his head. And he only prayed to him when someone else said they will cover his debt for him. So you can see already that loans have great responsibility attached to them. And to allow to facilitate the monetization of those debts, i.e. where a person makes money on debts and turn it into a business, now essentially you are encouraging what is supposed to not be encouraged. Not to mention it's a manipulation and taking advantage of those who are poor and so on and so forth. There's so many things you could say about riba. But historically speaking, we never really had an economy and a monetary system that was built and formed out of debt. Never had that before. Until 1971. We had fractional reserve gold-backed money. So we had money that was backed by gold, but it was fractional. So they were printing more money, but there's still gold there, essentially. And they had to somehow maintain the peg. But it was the first time that Richard Nixon separated the dollar from gold and left the currency free floating. And a series of events took place or occurred after that we can literally pinpoint with almost certainty that this was the moment where things changed. So there's a really good website you should check out. I want to just go through some of the charts that are on there to highlight these issues. Now this might be a multi-video or multi-part video. I'm going to cover in this because there's a lot to cover. But have patience with us, inshallah, we'll hopefully learn a few things. So the website is called What the F Happened in 1971.com. That's literally the name of the website. So what does that F stand for? It means fatwa. What the fatwa happened in 1971? Anyway, so you can see right here, for example, there's loads of charts of things that's happened, and we're gonna go through them and analyze them. Start from the top. So growth in productivity and hourly compensation since 1948. Now again, I've always stated over and over again, money should be based on work and effort. You do something, you want money to come into existence, you should work for it and earn it. And that gives the money its value because you actually earned it through actual hard labor. And we see that as the economy grows and productivity grows and products itself grow, money tends to be going with it and whatnot. And it seems to be a reflection of the economy because it's still an economic activity. You're still using effort to generate these money, which is gold or silver or whatnot. But when you detach the two and you now have economic activity, but the money is not a reflection of the economic activity, not necessarily anyway, then we get a decoupling of the two. And as you can see right here, if we just zoom right in, it says right here, so from 1948, which is the end of the Second World War, we see this move up together whereby the productivity of people was increasing, and along with that was the compensation. So they were earning more as they were producing more. So it went in line with each other. Until 1972, we see a decoupling of this, whereby although they're producing more, they're not being paid any extra. And this is interesting because we see this all the time. I mean, those of us who have been living long enough will see that as time goes on, you actually can do less and less of your wages. Hence why people generally get a pay rise every so often. I mean, you should really negotiate with your employee every year for a pay rise, because if your wages is not beating inflation, then effectively every year you're losing money. How do you beat inflation? You need to have at least, I think, 15 to 20% increase every year for your money to keep up with what's happening in inflation. So the data is quite clear right here. Compensation is way down, and you can almost see a stagnation of events. Now, counter argument. One could argue, well, they just came out of the Second World War, so there was a reason why there was an increase, because things were destroyed. There's a lot of avenue for growth. You don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel or have new technology to grow faster. All you have to really do is just rebuild. That could be an argument, but there's a coincidence here happening. Why did it start to happen immediately after this one single event? That's the first thing. And remember, this is also a collection of other things. It's not just this one chart. It's a collection of a series of charts to do so. But just to conclude on this one, because I want to make each one a small, short video so you can easily munch on these bits of info. The point here is we can clearly see that something happened that enabled although we are doing more and more and more, we actually get paid less and less and less. Oh, so you're not paying less, we're getting paid the same. So we're not actually keeping up with the economy. And I'm sure you must have heard from your parents or your grandparents, when I was young, houses were like £20,000, £30,000. That's an example where effectively everything else around you is getting more expensive, but your wages are not going up in line with that. Anyway, we hope you find this video beneficial and useful, and hopefully it's allowed you to think about your future and where would you like to keep your wealth that you've earned. Would you like to keep it in your fiat currency or place it and allocate it somewhere else? Like this video, subscribe to our channel, check out our website, and may Allah give you plenty of Bitcoin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.